You ever been walking into a room and you just kind of look around and notice that it looks like there's somebody who's looking at you? Maybe it's because you're too heavy or something else. It just kind of makes you have that really awkward feeling because of how those gawking eyes are. Well, I had that feeling last year whenever I was on an airline. One of the things that happened is I was flying out to Denver on a work trip, and whenever I was on the airplane, I sat down, had a nice conversation with the guy, and he gets up and he goes, "Can I go to the restroom? Just kind of let me out here, please." I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll definitely let you out." So he comes back. First thing he does when he sits down to me, he goes, "Oh man, you probably don't want to try to go to the restroom back there." He said, "That's too tight of quarters. I don't think you'll fit." In my mind, I'm thinking, "Well, thank you, sir, for the nice little compliment there." But I said, "You know what? I'll be right back. Because if you know how I am, I'm just going to go and prove to them that, and prove to myself whether I can do it or not." So I went back to the bathroom and found that I could fit right back in there. And I came back and said, "Yep, no, it fit just fine." And yeah, thought I was done with those kind of comments. But on the trip back, I'm hopping on the airplane. I sat down next to this guy, and this guy goes, "Oh," rolls his eyes and kind of sighs and says, "Well, they had to put the biggest two guys in the airplane right next to each other." I guess he was afraid the airplane was going to tip or something. I mean, I was about 290 pounds. He was a little bigger than I was, but you know, it's just one of those things that people say that sometimes that it just kind of could be demoralizing to a lot of people. To me, whenever it happened, it's more of a motivation. It's a say, "Hey, I'm gonna." It's a drive. It's a starting point that says, "Hey, it's time for a change." Now, whenever I coupled that with the fact that at one point my daughter had come to me and said, "Hey, Dad, you know, don't you want to be with your family long term?" She made that comment whenever I was having health, issues with her for my blood pressure rising. I said, "Well, absolutely, I do." And it was something that began to sink in. It took a couple months for the combination of the comment and the encouragement from my daughter in a way that she was saying it. It was a very positive and encouraging way with what she had to say. And then the comments that was made me on the air to me on the airlines, then I finally began to say, "Hey, it's time for a change," whenever that blood pressure was way up there. But I contrast that with the trip recently. I recently made a trip down to Orlando on the airplane. I hopped on a plane. There was no gawking eyes, and there was no, "Hey, I hope this guy isn't sitting next to me" kind of feeling, because I'm now down to 229.2 pounds. I've lost 60.8 pounds in 127 days. And I almost took a picture of this, and I really kind of wish I had, because I really wanted to bring it back home and show it to my wife, because at the end of the day, it's that family support circle, that most important thing. It's those people that support you. You want to surround yourself with that positive voice, that encouraging voice that's going to help you to go on. But that seatbelt, it was about 6 to 7, 8 inches worth of seatbelt that was pulled out excess. And to be honest, back whenever I was 290 pounds, and I really didn't even know about such thing as a seatbelt extension, I'm putting on this seatbelt and like, man, I'm about the end of the line. What am I going to do if I can't get this to buckle? So it was a major difference in the feeling about how I felt when I hopped on the airplane. The other thing I noticed is the room in the seat, that seat that was so tight previously, it wasn't nearly as tight as what it was before. So major changes, major differences. And then, whenever I got to the conference and those three guys said, "I didn't recognize you because the fact is I lost so much weight." And then another one of the guys who had no idea, he looks at me and he does that little, what happened to you? Wow, man. He goes, "You lose a lot of weight?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I said, at that time I lost like 59 pounds, 58 pounds. So I told him about it. And then you get the other people that you work with that are saying, "Hey, what did you do? How'd you lose that weight, man?" And then you hear somebody else tell you, "Hey, you've inspired me to go out and start making some changes." It just becomes not just encouragement for me whenever I hear them saying that. It's great whenever I hear a couple people say, "Now I'm inspired to start making changes as well." So my thoughts and the things I just want to say is surround yourself with positive people. And the other side of that is, I know that there's people that don't necessarily get into the exercise thing. That's your choice. That's your prerogative, whatever you choose to do. But think about what Mounjaro's website says. Whenever you go on there and you take a look, whether you're type 2 diabetic or not, since that's primarily what the focus is on the website for now, it says with exercise. The asterisk is there. So the question is, do you want to put that asterisk in your life and make exercise a part of your routine to include your health benefits? I have chosen to do so. That's your question for yourself, and that's your prerogative. But I can tell you, whenever I hear people talk about slow losers, things like that, you also don't know how hard somebody else is working. You don't know how diligently somebody else is tracking. Do you take a look at the food that you're tracking to see how closely you're watching your food? What is your true intake? Also, are you taking the steps to be moving to make a difference? Those are things to consider. Take a look. Don't just be looking at people saying, oh man, I'm a slow loser. They're losing so fast. It's unhealthy. Well, I lose about 2.7, 2.8 pounds a week sometimes. Sometimes I lost a little over, I lost in the threes. But just so you know, about a pound of my weight loss per week has been from exercise, calorie deficit, a little over 3,000, little over 4,000 calories per week from exercise. So it makes a difference. It's not substantial amounts of difference, but man, can it make a major life-changing difference whenever it comes to how you feel, the headspace, how you feel about yourself, the positivity, the extra strength you have, the extra little hop in your step. Those things are where I really get my enjoyment from the exercise. It's not about, oh, well, I might lose a pound a week or half a pound a week from exercise. That's not it, man. It's if you're somebody who's on a journey, focus on the things that makes you feel the best. If you don't want to do exercise, fine, but that's your choice. Do the best you can for yourself. Maybe later you'll change your mind when it comes to that, whenever you have lost enough weight that you feel better as well. Regardless of what your direction is, I want to be here to encourage you to do the best that you possibly can and be a positive voice that rings out for those who need a positive voice. Thank you much, and God bless.